We'll be back from the break, and many thanks for joining us if you're just joining in. But for those who have been with us, we are still continuing with our discussion here on the POLICON. We discuss politics and economics in a very huge aspect where you get to realize that some of these particular policies that are being set out by the policy makers, of which belong to the legislature, will definitely affect you in one way. So you really need to know of what is coming up and what is likely to affect you or impact you as a business person. Of course, our topic here is looking at the legislative analysis of the economic performance of the country in 2022, and of course also breaking down how the economy is likely to grow in 2023. And our guest is still Honorable Onekalit Denis Mary. Well, Honorable, as we look at this, as we are discussing more, I need to look at these bills now. Let's first of all focus on these bills. Before the break, you were still breaking down the Computer Misuse Act.
Before, I was talking about how the bill is added.
Okay.
You see, this bill has bad part and good part as well. It moderates a lot of things. But to us, the defying voices, the bill in a larger extent curtails outspokenness, curtails giving out information on wrong things happening out, because it tells you to first seek for permission. It will also curtails the work of the whistleblowers. This bill, if it was well thought, if it was made inclusively, would help a lot of things. For example, when you come to a child, when the bill states that before you publish anything about a child, you must seek for consent from the parents or guidance, which is good. Which is good for a minor. But in that same section, some clauses would have been added to clearly gives also permission for certain children who are notorious to be exposed. For example, in Acholi, we have, particularly in Gulu, there are certain sections of young people, street kids. Also here in Kampala, there are more in Kampala than the street of Kampala. Now, these street kids, they are young, they are children. A child of 11 years, child of 10 years is very destructive. He's a very child who is being used by big thieves to enter through small holes to steal. He's a very child who is now in marijuana, taking drugs, narcotic drugs. Okay. He's a very child who is now committing crime. Now, such children need to be exposed. Now, if the bill is locked, that before you exposed such a child outside, you published about him or her, you must seek for permission from the guidance, from the guidance or the parents. Definitely would not help the society. And again, when you come to the issues of talking about someone, now this will promote corruption in this country. In many instances, whistleblowers have helped us a lot to get rid of corrupt officials, corrupt tendencies. They would tell in advance, having seen what is taking place, they will report to authority that so-and-so has stolen the money, has hidden the money here and there. But now this bill again asks for clarity, asks for evidence, and yet if a whistleblower has heard out such kind of information, it calls for the IGG and other investigation units to further do their investigation to find out whether the atrocities happened, whether the thuggery happened. So this bill limits. Again, this same bill also talks about fine of 15 currency, actually about 15 million. About 15 million. That is when you calculate, because the currency is 20. One currency is 20 Uganda shillings. So when you go to about 15 million that as a punishment, or you go for 5 years, or as a leader if you are caught, maybe telling statement which you have not verified, you can be laid off your work. You will not be allowed to contest for elective position. We really see that such kind of clauses is actually selective in nature, because those in a comfort zone will be the NRM people. Those in a bad zone will definitely be the opposition people who will be targeted. Will be actually targeted by that bill. So the bill is two-way. To some extent, it helps. Of course, facts be told, there are certain personalities who are good at tarnishing people's name recklessly. That bill would be good for them, to trim them.
To at least send out information that they know of clearly. Okay.
That bill would actually trim it a bit. But it is terrible for the journalist who has been helping the society for a long time to bring sanity. It is terrible. The bill is very bad.
Bringing out information that people didn't know.
They didn't know, and you might not be having real evidence, but of course, your sense or your small information you might have got from
sneak peek of it is...
would help to carry out investigation so that facts are got out of that information. It curtail that. And you realize that journalism will become a crime soon, because you will fear to publish, to expose certain personalities because of that law, which is dangerous. We have been talking, many civil society organizations have actually planned to come to court, to go to court, constitutional court, to challenge it. And some of us will join them to give them a push so that the bill is streamlined to benefit the country. Why laws are being made in any country? Laws are made not to punish the citizens.
Very true.
But laws are made to streamline easy work in the country. But when you see a law which is being passed is intended to which end and to punish the real citizens of the
who are
country,
supposed to follow,
who should be protected and
by
should
the
use
law.
that law.
Okay.
Then you realize that is a bad law.
Okay.
And by any nature, anyone can fight it. And that is why this bill, actually, that has now come into law, will be fought this year.
Okay.
There are very many pending cases.
Okay.
I've heard of journalists. There's a group that has ganged up. There are a group of civil society that has ganged up for the same thing, and they'll fight it.
Okay. Now, let's have a look at some of the other bills that were presented rather. The Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Bill 2022, what does this particular one intend to address?
Yeah, the Pension Amendment Bill, of course, talks about a lot of things. Number one, for example, the one that caused a lot of hiccups in the news about the MPs section. So that one talks about how the saving scheme of an MP should be protected, so that when someone leaves Parliament, does not really become an outcast in society. Because what people doesn't know is that life at Parliament is short-lived. But when you leave Parliament, it is always deadly outside there. So that bill was basically meant to safeguard the aftermath of Parliament.
Okay.
That is, we had a lot of controversies here and there. People talked a lot about it. But I see little wrong things in it. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's just...
Okay, Honorable, there is a big discussion that has been ongoing, not only in 2022, even before. This issue was relating to a minimum wage bill. And this is entirely rotating around employees who are working for companies, and at least they have this issue of salary disparities, whereby at least they believe government should come out with a cap, just like the school fees cap that was introduced by the Ministry of Education, whereby at least you should know, if you are an individual working for a company, your minimum amount of salary you will be receiving at the end of the month is likely to be either 250, 300 or 500,000. Then from there, at least you can know that the working sector is being organized. But at the end of the day, This is just a discussion that is yet to be implemented. Where do you believe the challenge is? Is it with the government or the private sector?
There's a bill coming out that I am moving with my chairperson for quality assurance education, Honorable Margaret. The bill talks about professionalism. We are trying to streamline sectors. For example, there's a lot of adulteration in certain sections. Certain sections are not being controlled. You'll find, for example, the teachers have UNATO, a bigger body that control, that actually monitor their operations. Accountants, do they have? Journalists, do you have a body that monitor your operations?
Yes.
That keeps professionalism within journalism, like law, Uganda Law Society.
Okay.
Now, we are trying to come out with that bill, professionalism bill.
That at least protects.
Yeah. Now, all that, when you come to issues of the minimum wage bill, it is a discussion that has been dragging right up from the, actually, 7th Parliament. It has never been conclusively done. Why it has, to my own understanding, why it has not been concluded is because of the poor economy that we have. Every sector is scared. When you begin the debate, many sectors come, many companies come, many companies are consulted, and you realize that they are scared of creating a minimum wage bill, which, to my understanding, would instead help them and will also guide their production, will help raise their progress.
Okay.
Now, the minimum wage bill would do a lot of good things for this country. But why it will not be possible, I'm not giving, but I'm not, how do you call it? I'm not against it. But why it will not come to pass is because of the poor economy that we have, because of the poverty rate that we have, because of the entire systems not being run well. You know, when the country becomes a free market economy, which is Uganda is a free market economy, and a free market economy, every person decides on the prices that he gives. Others will be low, others will be high. You'll find, you will go to this fuel station, a liter of fuel is 5,600. The next one, a liter of fuel is 5,200. Now that one also will trickle down to the staff, to the workers. Their payment depends. You find from Total, the staff might be earning more. Then from gas, the staff might be earning low. Doing the same business, but varying in the salary scale. So it will take the government a lot to, first of all, streamline issues of pricing in the country, to streamline issues of employment modalities, to streamline issues of professionalism, because there are other people who are employed in sectors which they don't deserve. So they become underemployed or overemployed. Now, such a person, if you give a minimum wage bill of 2 million, and yet the person does not have the qualification to be in that office, you as a company, you will feel cheated. You will tend to give lower salary scale to such a person. So the minimum wage bill is a deeper discussion that the government first need to take it. They need first to look at the free market economy to be handled well. There are certain prices of goods need to be constant. Professionalism need to be streamlined, so that anybody employing must have a law, a regulation, that you must employ a person who has gone through this particular cost that leads to that job. Other than that, don't employ. If you want to employ an accountant, get the right person with a certificate from UMI or those kind of things, the certified people. Other than that, so if we have professionalism, then now we can begin naming.
Okay.
That for the accountant who went through UMI, certified accountants, their level is 5 million.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, I do.
For the journalists who went through Makerere and got ABCD, their level is 10 million.
Okay.
For doctors who did this, their level is this. That one will come. So that is why I'm saying it needs streamlining from professionalism to pricing to job etiquettes. Then we shall come with a better minimum wage bill. It's very, very critical.
Okay. And also there's something to do with the finance bill, but my other issue was to deal with the national sports bill because of the controversies behind it. And this takes me back to a time here a month ago when the Uganda Cranes were not going to apparently represent us
because
in the
of lack
CHAN
of
competitions.
Funds.
Yes, because of lack of funds. And I think this is a sports bill that will at least try to address some of these issues. But I wish to first of all understand.
The national sport bill itself created some controversies.
Yes.
Right from the title.
National sports bill.
Create a lot of controversies. Okay. But the bottom line is, it is a good bill. It's a good bill worth ascending to, because it addressed a lot of issues that are worth to be handled as a country if we want to progress with sports. Let me tell you, in this country we have athletes with immense skills who are entirely not being supported. Otherwise they will do more. The Kiprotis, the Izikuru who left, struggle on their own until when they came to a limelight, until when they won. Then you'll see the government coming praising. Then you will see them being invited to State House, given all vehicles. That we support you now, there's a house there we're giving you. But before, they're not being supported. Now this bill talks about actually rehabilitating, talks about revamping, talks about creating training facilities to the level that deserve, talks about increment in budget line so that they get some money. Of recent, we have been made so proud by the Sea Crane. Sea Crane did wonder. They beat Australia, one of the giants in netball. They beat them. They beat very many powerful countries. And they marketed us immensely. Now, if such a team are supported well, they can even become world champion. Okay. Athletes. Year after year, we are seeing people going for athletes individual, coming with gold medal. After winning, then we get to know them. Hey, you meaning you're there? Some of them goes and train in Kenya, like those in Sibei region. They cross over to Kenya, they train from there. They come back, win for us medals. There was one athlete whom Kenyans were actually complaining that he was supposed to participate for them. Of course, they are at the border, but all the facilities they got, the training, were from Kenya, because Uganda doesn't have enough. So if that bill, the national sport bill, is ascended to, with few rectification in it, which we are still going to look at it well, that would be good. It will help the country. Okay. It will help the country. It will promote sports. We shall get another Kibwas, another Kiprotis, another Jikurus. There are very many talent here. All right. We also help the football.
Okay. Team. To at least grow.
To at least grow.
We're on the journey of at least heading to the World Cup in 2026. Maybe this bill will try.
I pray we handle the World Cup when we are still seeing.
Okay. Now, Honorable, as we're summing up our discussion today, 2023 has presented itself to us. Though on a sad note, on the 31st, we recorded some deaths at the stampede at the Freedom City. Now, on the other hand, also some accidents have been recorded in the past 2 weeks during the festive celebrations and activity, as people are actually heading to their villages and all that. What should we be expecting in 2023 even the International Monetary Fund did warn that the global economy will be heading into recession this year. So there are some tough times ahead. But then, from your point of view, what lies ahead of us this year?
As usual, Uganda needs a lot of changes. The head of states need to sit down and write a line on the sand and agree that decentralization first need to take place. The head of state need to agree that the three arms of government need to work independently without interference: legislature, judiciary, and executives. Now, if that one is done, many laws which are operational will be well implemented. The economy, in very many perspectives, will thrive. We need also to look at industrialization system, how we are going to control our industries. There was a period of time about 3-4 years ago, the issues of boo-boo was hot. Buy Uganda, build Uganda was hot in the country. So if we can bring it back in 2023, we will revamp, we will support the local investors whose resources, whose capital, whose money and profits will remain in the country, will never be repatriated to other countries. We need to target more on things that sustain the GDP of the country, on things that helps to support the fiscal policies and the monetary policies so that the money circulation is well monitored, the fiscal policies is well identified and worked upon them. And above all, we need to know to live, we need to learn how to live in harmony. Human rights violations. I pray that 2023 see us through as one country, as one people with different identity, but same focus, same mission as a country. We might be different tribes, but we are one people.
Oh, okay.
Not like my colleagues who are now rotting in jail, my good friend Alan Savanyana, an honorable Segrinya. They are still in jail. They're making now, they've celebrated their 2 Christmas in jail. So if we can really make 2023 a different one, it will celebrate. Someone posed a question to me that, Honorable Amere, is it possible to love your country even when you don't love its leadership? I said, yes, you can love your country even when you don't love its leadership. But what matter is that patriotic nature in it. And also the leadership should give that identity need that the citizen needs by respecting them, by responding to their needs. Then definitely 2023 will be a splendid year.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Your last message to the people of Kitgum.
Happy New Year, a prosperous 2021. We look toward doing more for our people.
Okay, and to you, the viewers of Smart 24 TV, thank you for watching the POLICON. We're doing this again next time with a different guest, but of course, discussions rotating around politics and economics. I'm Jorum Sonko, and I've been with Honorable Onekalit Denis, who is the Member of Parliament for Kitgum Municipality. Wishing you a happy New Year 2023. Have a blessed day wherever you are, and a blessed night to a brand new week ahead of you as well.